What's up? It's Ben from WODprep, and in this video, I'm gonna go over a beginner's guide to snatches. So if you're trying to learn how to do a barbell snatch, this is a great video to start because in this video, I'm gonna talk about all the different versions of a snatch that you might see showing up on your daily workout. If you've been confused about the difference between a power snatch and a snatch, or a squat snatch, or a hang snatch, or a hang power snatch, this is the video for you. If you're looking for detailed instructions on how to snatch, we have several other videos available on YouTube. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna share a few resources that we have. A couple free ones, a couple really good paid ones that will help you snatch more weight. But in this video, it's gonna help you understand the difference between all the different naming conventions so that you know exactly which snatch you're supposed to do in your strength or your daily WOD. So let's get after it. The first thing is, what is a snatch? A snatch is when we're moving the weight from below to above our head in one fluid motion. I'm moving weight from down below, usually below my hip, to above my head in one fluid motion. It looks like this. I have a nice wide grip, and the bar is overhead. For the snatch to count, I have to finish with my knees and hips locked out, barbell over my head, arms locked out. This is considered a completed snatch. So it's one fluid motion, which means I can't bring the bar to my shoulders and then press it overhead. Ouch, that just hurt even thinking about doing that. I can't stop the bar at any point. It has to be one fluid motion from my hip to overhead. That is what makes it a snatch, as opposed to a clean, which goes to our shoulders, and then we'd have to press overhead or jerk overhead to do a clean and jerk. So it's one fluid motion where the bar goes from my hip to overhead, which is why we have that nice wide grip, because that allows us to get it into that overhead position. Now, there's two main buckets that we need to start with. We have what's called a power snatch and a squat snatch, or for most weightlifters, we just call it a snatch. But in CrossFit and functional fitness, usually it's power and squat. So power snatch and squat snatch. Let's start with a power snatch. A power snatch is where the bar moves overhead, and at no point during the movement do I squat all the way under the bar. So basically a power snatch means I receive the bar at any point above my squat position. So that means I have to catch it with what's called above parallel, which means my hip crease, which is right here, is above the top of my knee. So I can catch the snatch technically here because my hip crease is still slightly above the top of my knee. If I stand it up, that's considered a power snatch, okay? If I catch it here and stand it up, that is also considered a power snatch, and I can catch it anywhere in between those. But a power snatch is where the bar moves above my head, and then I stand all the way up, and I never pass through a full below parallel squat. The power snatch can be taken from the floor, or it can be taken from the hang. We'll get into that in a second. But first, let's talk about the other bucket, the squat snatch, or the full snatch is what some people call it, or just snatch. That is when I'm receiving the barbell and passing through a full depth squat. So that looks something like this. So hopefully, I'm not fully warmed up here, hopefully you saw that I passed all the way below parallel in my squat position and stood the weight all the way up. That would be considered a squat snatch or a full snatch or a snatch, whatever. But usually, again, in this sport, it's either squat or power, and it's designated. So that time, you saw I lifted the barbell over my head, and in order to receive it, I squatted all the way below parallel. Now, if a workout had 10 squat snatches in it, and you went like this, that's technically a no rep. What you have to do is you would have to make sure that in one smooth motion, I get down below parallel, and then I stand it all the way up. That would be a good rep. So hopefully now you know the difference between power and squat. There is a third, less common version. Sometimes you'll see this programmed to work on technique, and that's called a muscle snatch. This one isn't one of the two main buckets. This is like a relatively uncommon one. A muscle snatch is simply where I go from the hip to overhead without any rebending of my hips or knees. So that looks like this. Bar comes up, and it locks out above my head without me doing any bending of the knees or the hip to get underneath of it. So it's one smooth motion. I can't drop under the bar. I have to just pull, and lock out without any bending. So that would be a muscle snatch. We have to make sure we mention it because sometimes that's going to be programmed in technique work. Rarely would that ever be programmed in a Metcon or a workout, but it might be programmed as a warm-up, or it might be programmed as a strength development tool to work on that hip extension, because as you saw, it's harder for me to get that barbell overhead when I can't drop underneath of it. So a muscle snatch is all about using our legs as much as possible to get a lot of upward momentum on the bar so that I can get that bar overhead and locked out. So those are the three main snatches. The ones we're going to talk about for the rest of the video are power snatches and squat snatches. So, did you know that at WODprep we have online training programs that can help you get better at CrossFit? In fact, we have something called WODprep Online Training, which is a daily workout delivered right to your phone every single day. We have competitive tracks, masters tracks, and then a classic 60-minute track. So regardless of what kind of programming you're trying to follow, whether you have minimal equipment or you have access to a full-blown CrossFit gym, WODprep has the perfect training for you, including some accessory tracks that'll help you get better at things like gymnastics, weightlifting, engine work like running, biking, and rowing. And all you have to do is go to WODprep Online Training. So go to the link on the screen or check the description below. Join WODprep Online Training. It's one of the most affordable training programs on the market today, and it's absolutely loaded with value. We have thousands of testimonials from customers of all ages and abilities hitting all sorts of PRs. So go join WODprep Online Training today, and you'll get a special deal if you click the link on this video. Now we have to talk about the hang. Notice how I never mentioned we have to pull from the floor. The barbell does not have to start on the floor. That's because there's something called a hang snatch. A hang snatch is where the bar starts at or below my hip, but not on the floor, and then passes to overhead in one fluid motion. So that would be like this. I start standing, so this is the start of the position, and then from the hang position, barbell goes overhead and I stand it up. Now, any guesses what kind of snatch that was? I'll do it one more time. I'm at the hang, and I receive it in a partial squat. So that was a hang power snatch. So let's talk about the different types of hang snatches that we could do. So starting with power, which again means I'm receiving the barbell at or above parallel. That is a high hang power snatch, hang power snatch, and low hang power snatch. I'll show you the three different versions, with hang power snatch being the most common. So we have a high hang power snatch. So high hang simply means I'm barely lowering the barbell in this hang position. Usually a high hang, I'm just bending the hips and the knees, and then I explode, go overhead, and stand. So that would be a high hang power snatch, because you see I didn't squat all the way below it. So again, I'm in the high hang position, and I just simply dip, drive, catch in that power snatch position. Again, that's a high hang power snatch. Then we have the hang power snatch. That's where usually the barbell is being lowered to somewhere above my knees. It could be here, could be here, could be here, but I'm lowering the barbell above my knees, and then in one fluid motion going overhead. That is a hang power snatch. So hang, power snatch. A less common version, but one that you might see programmed in a strength part of your workout to develop positioning and pulling, is a low hang. Low hang means I'm hanging but below the knees, not on the ground. So that would look like this. I stand up, because that's where all the hangs start from. I lower the barbell below my knees somewhere. It could be here. I'm not on the floor. Most people are going to do it about right here. And then from here in one smooth motion, overhead into the power position. So that was a low hang power snatch. So that covers our bases. We have high hang power snatch, low hang power snatch. Now, what if it's switched up? What if it's a squat snatch or just labeled snatch? Oftentimes, if it's just labeled hang snatch, you can choose whether you do a power or a squat. So for now, let's talk about the hang squat snatch. So hopefully you guys are picking it up by now. What would a high hang squat snatch look like? Well, I start with the bar in my snatch grip, stand all the way up, slight dip of the nip of the knees and hips, and in one fluid motion, overhead, all the way into that squat and stand. That is a high hang squat snatch. Now, if you saw hang squat snatch, it would look like this. Stand all the way up, go into the hang somewhere above the knee, one fluid motion, squat all the way below parallel and stand all the way up. That is a hang squat snatch. And then last but not least, low hang squat snatch looks like this. I stand up all the way, I lower to that low hang position below my knees, and then in one fluid motion, up overhead and squat all the way underneath. That is a low hang squat snatch. And then just to reiterate, I could do all those same hang positions with a muscle snatch. So if I did a high hang muscle snatch, it would look like this. And I don't even know if I can lift this. This is going to be really heavy. But high hang. Ooh. See how I didn't rebend? And then we have a hang muscle snatch. And then a low hang muscle snatch. See how I'm not rebending under the bar? There you have it. Those are pretty much all the different versions of snatches that you will ever see in a workout. Your most common ones are going to be a power snatch. So if you saw power snatches, that would just be the bars on the ground. I go overhead in one fluid motion without squatting below parallel and stand. That's one. And then the bar needs to go back down to the ground in between each rep. So that would be one. This would be two, three. See how each time the bar is hitting the ground, four, and so on and so forth. However, if it was simply adding the word hang power snatch, now I don't have to go back to the ground between every rep. It would look like this. I start from the hang. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the hang, we don't have to reset at the bottom each time. So there's a million different combinations that we can go over, but hopefully now at the end of this video, you know the difference between a power snatch and a squat snatch and a muscle snatch. So to wrap up this video, I want to play a game with you. I'm going to do 2 lifts of the same lift, and I want you to see if you can figure out what that lift was. So I'm going to do 2 of them, and then I'm going to call out what the lift was. See if you can guess it before I say what it is. We're going to do a couple random ones to see how well you've been paying attention. All right, let's get after it. So what is this? Any guesses? That was a hang power snatch. How about this? Any guesses? That was a high hang squat snatch. What about this? That was a muscle snatch. And then what about this? What was that? That was cheating. That was 2. So that was, I think if I remember correctly, that was a low hang squat snatch into a high hang power snatch. So I hope you liked that game, and I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Smash the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any more videos. And as promised, I have a couple resources I want to share with you. If you want to get a completely free snatch guide that'll teach you a little bit more in detail how to do better snatches and drills you can practice, go to WODprep.com/snatch, enter your name and email, and I will send you that guide completely free. However, if you want to really work on your weightlifting, I have two even better options for you. Number one is WPx Weightlifting. WPX stands for WODprep Accessory Weightlifting. And what that is it's programming that we write ongoing every week. You get 3 workouts per week. Each workout takes about 30 to 45 minutes per session, and it's designed to be added into your normal training, just like a cherry on top, so that you can get better at snatches, cleans, and jerks. So that could be a great option. That's only $9 a month. Or if you want to really take your weightlifting seriously and take a full online course that teaches you how to do weightlifting properly with crazy amounts of detail and programming to go with it, then you should check out WODprep Weightlifting. WODprep Weightlifting is basically our how to snatch, clean, and jerk masterclass with tons of instructional videos, in-depth, highly detailed videos about what to do, what not to do for all the lifts, snatch, clean, and jerk, and all the different combinations. And it even comes with accessory programming for, I think, 12 weeks inside of that program. So you have 3 different options. All of those will be linked down below. You have a free, you have a $9 a month one, and then you have the full WODprep weightlifting course, which is the highest recommended one, but it is the most pricey. So regardless of what you get, it comes with a money-back guarantee. Check it out below, and I will see you in next week's video. Surprise! Do you like this video? Well, we got a lot more where that came from, and hopefully I'm less jacked up on caffeine. Click this box to get more free WODprep videos.